Hey guys, it's Blue from Throwback Games, and this is episode number 2 of From Zero to Hero, my new tip series where I'm going to be doing the most basic of tips and continue getting more and more advanced as the episodes go on. So in this episode, I'm going to be going over utilizing grenades. So that's for both T and CT side, but basically, grenades are very important in Counter-Strike Global Offensive because it'll limit what the opposing team can do. For example, if you smoke them off, they won't be able to see through that smoke, depending on where it is. Also, flashing them blinds them momentarily, and you can grenade them, of course, but you all know how the grenades work, so I'm going to show you how to actually utilize them. So what I see a lot of new players doing is, they think they're going to go long A, for example, and they're going to go own these guys, so they just come out, and they go, and then they get shot from who's ever sitting there. Because they just blindly run out, and this guy standing over here can just basically hold this angle, and as they come out, just pretty much dome him in the head and kill him. So to actually utilize nades, I'm not really going to go over specific nade spots, but I'll show you long, for example. If you just toss a flash over that, it'll pop, and you can basically peek as that flash pops. So you're going to want to listen for that popping noise, and then you peek. So once you hear that flash pop, as I said, you can then peek, but flashing might not always work, so you can also use smokes to help take a site or a position, which includes long. So I can throw that smoke over if I threw it right. Yeah, good enough. As you can see, if this guy was sitting here holding this angle, he wouldn't be able to see anything, and that'll force him to move over here or move over here. And if you use a flash with that smoke, you toss it over, it might not be there, but he'll be forced to move and then get blinded by your flash, and you'll pretty easily be able to get that pick on him. There's a lot of other variables, obviously, but using grenades definitely helps you take sites and or positions. So I'll go over to B just to show you another example. A lot of people peek this just kind of blindly. They don't nade, especially on like B rushes. I mean, of course, on a B rush, you're going to want to just go for it if it's eco. But if you have enough money to buy grenades, I definitely recommend utilizing them if you want to try and take B, because odds are, someone's going to be sitting here or even back here. There's all sorts of places you can sit if you want to hold this tunnels, because it's just one bottleneck and it's very hard to take as a terrorist because they can just hold this area. But if you just simply throw a flash out, you turn around and it lands right here, so it's pretty much going to blind anyone here, anyone at car. Even in sight, they'll probably get blind if they're peeking it aggressively. So just throwing those flashes helps. You can also throw them back to sight, but if you're going to throw that flash, you're going to want this flash to pop, or a smoke, which you can pretty much just bank off this. And as you can see, that blocks out pretty much all of plat and back to sight for CTs trying to actually pick you off as you run into B's bomb site. And you can also flash through the smoke, and it should help you get into B. Obviously, this goes the same for pretty much every other bomb site in the game. Just the certain positions do obviously vary. So next, I'm going to show you how to utilize grenades as a CT to hold bomb sites or positions, as they can be just as useful as they are for Ts. So the first example is going to be the smoke grenade. This can pretty much be used to create a sort of wall into a bomb site, or, as I said earlier, a position. So, for example, I'll show you what to do with a smoke at B. Obviously, there's other ways you can use it, but just throwing it in like this, and as you can see, it just creates this wall for this entire tunnel. So, as a T rushing this, I mean, you're just going to walk out blindly, and who's ever playing B here is just going to be able to spot you before you even peeked it, and boom, you're dead, basically. Yeah. And also, counter flashing is very important as well. So if you're blind, or if you're getting flashed, and you feel like they're going to be rushing B, as I said, this goes for pretty much every other bomb site in the game, but just for this example, I'm showing you B bomb site. So if you're sitting here, for example, peeking this, and they're flashing a lot, then you could easily just drop down here, throw that flash, and if they're going to push, that is going to halt their progress, and they're going to be blind, and they're going to have to delay that push, which might even be able to give your teammates enough time to get over and help you out, especially if you're playing B with 2 players. He can flash like that, or, you know, however safe it is, as long as they're not rushing and you're not going to be caught out with a grenade in your hand, because that's always important not to do. But yeah, that's pretty much it for utilizing grenades. Obviously, you can grenade as a team or just by yourself, but utilizing grenades at the beginning of rounds to stop pushes is very important. So if you're playing 2B, you can just tell your teammate, hey, let's nade B, or pre-nade B, a lot of people like to call it, and you just toss a grenade like that, and if they're rushing, that's going to damage them a lot. And obviously you can use Molotovs as well in that position, but all that kind of goes without saying. I just wanted to teach you how to actually utilize these grenades to make them as useful as possible. One last thing is for holding bomb sites. So for example, if you're a terrorist and you end up taking the site, it's very important to actually use smoke grenades to cut off some of the areas the CTs would be rotating through. So I'm just going to plant the bomb in B bomb site right here. And for example, if we have 3 guys up, 2 of us have smokes, well then we can toss a smoke here, and I'll smoke off the entire double doors. Or we could smoke window off as well. That was a horrible smoke, but you know, you get the gist. You can throw a smoke there, completely block that, or even finally tunnels. So they pretty much have to blindly walk through these smokes to retake the site, and you guys can just hold these positions and kill them when they try and push through. And it'll, at the very least, it will delay them a lot, because they're going to see these smokes sitting here, and they're not going to really know what to do. They're going to, you know, contemplate it for a second, then they're going to try and rush in, and you know, it's going to be a lot harder for them to take the sites. So it's always important, if you have grenades, by the time you take the site, to use them. You definitely do not want to die with a full grenade set in your hand, because that's not good. Always be utilizing those grenades. But that's going to do it for this video. Thank you guys for watching, and stay tuned for next episode. Peace.